Hi, and welcome to another dose of virtual vitamin Z. This is DZTV for the week of December 21st, 2020. I'm your co-host, Steven.
And I'm your co-host, Claire. Let's get started with some Detroit Zoological Society updates. What do we have this week, Steven?
Well, first of all, Wild Lights, as we've been telling you for the past several weeks, has been very popular. And in fact, at one point it sold out. But it was so popular that we've decided to extend the Wild Lights dates into January. And Claire, do you know what those dates are?
Yeah, on January 6th through the 10th, we'll be opening at 5 p.m. And the 6th and 7th will be open till 9. On 8 and the 9th, Friday and Saturday, will be open till 10:30. And then on Sunday, January 10th, it's 5 to 9. So if you haven't purchased your Wildlife tickets and made it out yet to visit, please do so. I'm actually really excited, Stephen. I'm coming this evening with some family. I think it's the perfect way to spend a somewhat socially distanced time with family this holiday season. So I'm really excited to go and be there this evening.
Yeah, especially with some snow on the ground, the lights are particularly beautiful. It's a really cool experience.
We're supposed to get a little bit of snow tonight, so we'll see how it goes.
Awesome.
Just a reminder that if you haven't finished your holiday shopping list, there's just a few days left, and we have a stress-free alternative to traditional material gifts for you. A DZS membership, they start as low as $59, and they activate when the gift recipient activates that membership. So if they don't come out until March, they can start their year's worth of membership then. So visit DetroitZoo.org for more information about how you can wrap up your holiday shopping list and contribute back to the DZS and all of the wonderful things that we're able to do with the support of our members.
And then finally, every day can be Giving Zoo Day. Again, we really, really appreciate those of you who have supported the zoo, the Detroit Zoological Society this year especially, and particularly over the past month through making donations on Giving Tuesday at the beginning of December, through purchasing gifts at the Zoofari Market, gift memberships, visiting the zoo, visiting Wild Lights. We really appreciate all of that support, and we just want to make sure y'all know one last time that if you know somebody who maybe they're difficult to get a gift for, they say, you know what, I don't want anything. Maybe make a donation in their name or something like that.
I think this is a year a lot of people are making donations to organizations in behalf and on behalf of people as gifts. And I think that's a fantastic trend, and I hope it continues forward because it certainly goes a long way. All right, where is Solaire? We've been keeping you updated on the habitat reconstruction progress for the water monitor that lives in the Holden Reptile Conservation Center. And I popped over just yesterday and spoke with our curator of reptiles, Jeff, about some of the progress that's being made in the space. This is the beginnings of the pool, the water area that Solaire will enjoy. There will be a ramp made in here so Solaire can easily access and get in and out of the pool area. So this is coming along really well. And they have set in the walls, so they are ready for the glass that will allow our guests to be able to view into Solaire's habitat and see what Solaire is doing. So now we are just waiting on that glass to arrive. So we can install it, and then we'll get moving on putting in some substrate, which is the ground material, and finishing out some of that the concrete work that is being framed out there with all the metal posts. So things are moving along really well for Solaire.
It's cool to see how much progress they're making. And I know I brought this up several times before, but really cool, really exciting to think about all of the natural behaviors that Solaire is going to be able to more effectively express and take part in because of this habitat expansion.
Yeah, it's a huge expansion. It's a really great use of that space, and it'll provide our guests a great opportunity to see Solaire. So yeah, moving forward. All right, Stephen, over to you for the Animal Live Cam Plays of the Week.
All right, as you know, this week we are featuring Best of Virtual Vitamin Z, and that includes Animal Live Cam Plays of the Week. So let's go to another Best of from earlier this year.
Well, because of the holidays, there were no live animal sports this week, but we know that this is the high point for at least some of your weeks. So here you go, Mom. It's the classic Animal Live Cam Plays of the Week. We look back at old footage to find some highlights. Starting off at number 3, Polar Bear Parkour. Video credit goes to Tom Roy. Thanks, Tom. Parkour is a sport where you move from one place to another as creatively as possible. And I really like to see, I don't know if this is Suka or Nuka, but I really like to see how they use their paws to move around and navigate around this aquatic habitat, even using that underwater tunnel. And it's really cool to see this footage thanks to that underwater tunnel in the Arctic Ring of Life. Moving on to number two is Tiger Stalking. Again, video credit goes to Tom Roy. Now pay attention, I don't know if this is Alexei or Nikolai, but he's going to be sneaking up on his brother, trying to be as quiet as possible. Got an obstacle right there, the pond, but leaps over it and does a sneak attack and catches his brother completely off guard. Gets an amazing upper hand in the ensuing wrestling match, and it, really isn't even a competition at this point. Nice job. Moving on to our honorable mentions, the Belle Isle Trail Camera. This is Frank the Groundhog, and Frank the Groundhog appears to be taking some senior portraits. Starting off with a typical pose, moves on, and he's doing a profile look now to highlight his distinguished snout, and then ending up with that classic senior portrait pose of leaning over to the side. Nice job, Frank. It's really good to see you out and about. All right, we're going to move on now to our number one play. And our number one play is from Chimpanzee Tumbling. Again, thank you, Tom Roy, for the video. Jane is the contender, and she is on the left side of the screen doing some warm-ups, getting a couple practice tumbles, stretching it out to make sure she doesn't pull anything. But here's the actual tumbling. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right. That's a quadruple somersault with an up-the-hill recovery. Runs all the way back up the hill after grabbing a little bit of a snack. And she goes on to do even more of this. But let's break that down in slow motion to see that tumbling again. There's one somersault. There's two somersaults. Watch as she, on her third, navigates around the trunk to continue downhill, and 4 and the recovery. Now, anthropomorphizing aside, one of the things I love about all of this footage is that it really shows these animals engaging in species-specific behaviors that are signs of great welfare. Makes me really proud to work for this organization. Back to you, Claire.
All right, now for this week's feature story, we at the DZS really like featuring all of the rescued animals who live at the zoo. And we thought, Claire and I, what better way to feature these rescued animals than making rescued animal cupcakes? And then we thought of several other better ideas, but we'd already made the cupcakes, and so today's feature story is rescued animal cupcakes.
So for our rescued animal cupcake challenge, I decided to feature Mike, Boo, and Thor, who are 3 grizzly bear cubs who came to us back in 2011. They were orphaned out in Alaska, rescued as they were too young to survive in the wild on their own, and we were able to provide sanctuary for them here at the Detroit Zoo. So I modeled my cupcakes after Mike, Boo, and Thor, so let's check them out. So here they are. They're all the same size cupcake, and I used little tiny Oreo cookies for their ears, little ready-made eyes, and it turns out eye placement is very important when you're making animal-themed cupcakes. The direction that the eyes point make a big difference in how the cupcakes look. And then I didn't have any little round cookies or crackers to use for their muzzles, so instead I cut up some animal crackers into the shape that I needed, and then I used a round chocolate candy for each one's nose. So these are celebrating Mike, Boo, and Thor, who have lived here at the Detroit Zoo since 2011, so for 9 years now. And the grizzly bear brothers live all the way in the back of the zoo in a large, expansive habitat that was recently renovated to give the brothers even more space to enjoy. So these are my rescued animal cupcakes.
So for my part of the Rescued Animal Cupcake Challenge, I decided to focus on Flash, Mr. America, and Captain Marvel, who are 3 bald eagles who were injured in the wild and have found sanctuary at the Detroit Zoo. So let's check out my process of making those cupcakes, as well as learn a little bit more about these 3 amazing animals. So these are my 3 cupcakes, and as you can see, they all turned out a little bit differently, and I think that's really fitting, because just as these cupcakes are a little bit different, so too are Flash, Mr. America, and Captain Marvel unique individuals. They have their own unique stories of what brought them to the Detroit Zoo, as well as their own unique personalities, and that's something that's true of all animals, whether they're animals we see at the zoo or animals we see in the wild. Another thing that I want to call out is that these cupcakes were all made from plant-based ingredients. And as someone who's practiced a plant-based diet for quite a while, I always thought that there was no way I could have a cupcake or make a cake or something like that because I couldn't think of alternatives to milk or eggs. But as it turns out, not only are there a lot of great alternatives, but there are a lot of great resources out there online to help you substitute those alternative ingredients in your favorite recipes. So in addition to learning more about these three bald eagles by visiting the Detroit Zoo's website, I would encourage you to check out some plant-based alternatives to more traditional or typical baking ingredients. So enjoy.
So Stephen, you know what I think the best part about making those cupcakes were, besides, of course, telling the story of some of the rescued animals that we're able to provide sanctuary here for at the zoo, but I didn't have all of the ingredients that I really needed to make those cupcakes just like I wanted to. So I pilfered through my kids' snacks and I ended up cutting up a bunch of animal crackers to make the little noses. And then I had to go through 4 bags of fun-size M&Ms to get enough of the chocolate colored nose pieces. But now I've got some really exciting trail mix that I'm really looking forward to this afternoon.
That's like all of the best parts of trail mix. Like everything that you want, the chocolate, you want the, the cookies, I guess cookies, crackers.
See, when animals get rescued, everybody wins.
Yeah, it's win, win, win.
That's my takeaway. All right, let's check out our virtual education program preview for this week. Just a reminder that we are featuring our best of virtual vitamin Z's. We've created hundreds of videos over the course of the last 9 or 10 months, and we're featuring some of our favorites and some of all of your favorites. So this morning we started out, of course, with DZTV here with Claire and Stephen. And then this afternoon, Stephen, you actually have a new session this afternoon, yeah?
This is a new one, yeah. So December 21st this year is actually the winter solstice, which means that in the northern hemisphere, it is the point where the day is the shortest and the night is the longest. And so to learn more about that, I'm going to be doing a Trivia Monday on winter solstice, learning about what exactly it means, like why this happens at this time of year, how animals have adapted to live in the winter. And in honor of it, I will be wearing a winter sweater. So,
you know, my favorite part about the winter solstice is?
What's that?
Is that tomorrow the day is a little bit longer and we're heading back towards summer.
Yep. It's really interesting to think about, but we have reached the end of this journey to the longest day. Yeah. Every day afterward is a bit longer.
Keeping the hope alive.
So on Tuesday, December 22nd at 11 a.m., keeping with this winter theme, Akila will be sharing a best of on penguin adaptations. And then Danae will also, I believe this is a new one as well, but sharing polar bear origami, which should be a lot of fun.
Origami has a lot of math skills. I'm excited to watch that one. She does such a nice job, and it really is just so calming to watch her fold.
It is. Origami. If you're feeling stressed, be sure to tune in Tuesday at 4.
Wednesday, December 23rd, we're going to feature the animated that Barbie did about Jabari the giraffe, which is always a favorite. And David is back at 4 p.m. with a wildlife adventure story, The Bird Who Needed Refuge from the Winter. Excited to hear what that one's about.
Thursday, December 24th at 11 a.m., Mike will be sharing a glimpse of a citizen science project, Adopted Drain, talking about why it's important to pay attention to the storm drains in your community and what cleaning those or clearing those drains can do for the local ecosystem. And then at 4 p.m., Sandy will be sharing her virtual habitat chat on Eastern Massasauga rattlesnakes.
Wrapping up the week on Friday, we have Brad with the majestic Canada goose. And in the afternoon, Zara is going to be featuring her virtual habitat tour of river otters, which really came out very, very well. And it's a great, great tour of that habitat space, which was also recently renovated just a couple of years back.
And then, as we've said before, virtual learning labs are live. And so if you are yourself a classroom teacher or maybe a homeschool teacher, or you know somebody who is, definitely direct them to our website and they can go over to that education tab and click on virtual learning labs. Lots of different offerings for lots of different types of classes, different formats. So there's something I would I would say there's something for everybody. I think, yeah, I'm going to say there's something for everybody here.
Preschool all the way up through grade 12, and we're always open to hearing feedback from our teaching friends. So if there's something there that you're looking for and you don't see, let us know. All right, back to featuring favorites of. What's the weather like out there today?
Good morning, Claire. Well, the weather here is about 78 degrees and humidity's roughly around 60% or so. Pretty much what it is every day. But as you can see, it is a good day for swimming. Maybe the Cayman will even decide to take a dip a little bit later today. Back to you, Claire.
Thank you for that timely weather report.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us this week for DZTV. We'll see you next week. Until then, stay healthy, Detroit.